A doubleheader of WPF softball is coming your way from San Marcos, Texas, in another matchup between the Texas Smoke and the Coastal Bend Tidal Wave. The Smoke run-ruled Coastal Bend last night, and today they go for a remarkable 24th straight win in the opening game of today's two-game set. Coming to you on the official WPF YouTube channel, Brant Freeman, along with Davin Meredith, and more of the same that we've seen from the Smoke all season long. Davin, just another dominant display last night.
Just like you said, Brant, the Smoke have been impressive all season long. Again, last night in the bottom of the second, their home run streak, back-to-back-to-back home runs. Very impressive for the Smoke, looking to continue that this weekend. As for the Tidal Wave, on the other hand, they're looking to avoid their third run rule loss in a row. Again, the Tidal Wave are looking to retool and bounce back and get ready for those playoffs that are coming next week.
In the circle tonight for the reigning champion Smoke is a WPF rookie, Jayla Wright. Her numbers in this ballpark this season as a pro, 3-1. Her record has the only loss for the Smoke all year long, came all the way back on June 23rd. ERA of 1.78, 19 2/3 innings for Wright this season when pitching at Bobcat Softball Stadium. Impressive strikeout to walk ratio, 23-7. Opposing batters hitting just .211 against her in her 3 starts, which has included 2 complete games here in San Marcos. Now look at the batting order for the Tidal Wave. Malaysia Ochoa bats leadoff. She'll be followed by Tate Whitley and the returning Tatum Onzaldo in the first inning. Hitters 4 through 6, Trinity Cannon, Kelly Lynch, and Julia Jimenez. And then you go 7, 8, and 9. Rylan Wiggins, Alyssa Garcia, and Grace Chellerman. The batting lineup 1 through 9 tonight for the Tidal Wave. A lineup, though, that was held to a single run on just 2 hits at last night's 5-inning opener. The winning pitcher last night for the Smoke was Jessica Mullins. Pitched all 5 innings. The 1 run given up on those 2 hits, struck out 3. And again, got the win. And for Mullins herself, now 4-0 as a starter here at Bobcat Softball Stadium, playing at the WPF. Now, there was a slight delay, about a half an hour, due to storm activity in the area, but now the sun is out, clouds are parting. A beautiful stage for game 1 of a doubleheader, with the final day of the regular season on deck for tomorrow. As Davin said, the playoffs are next week, and here we go. First pitch, a miss from Wright, starts the game against Malaysia Ochoa.
Yeah, both teams just getting ready to retool and get ready for those playoffs. And again, if you're the Smoke, you're coasting, you're looking good. But again, you wouldn't mind getting some extra reps in before those playoffs start.
Smoke with a win last night, now 26-1. They've won 23 in a row. Meanwhile, the Tidal Wave, 11-17, still remain in 3rd place in the WPF standings. And they've dropped 2 straights, as Davin said earlier. Both losses, run rules. 9-1 last night, 8-0 on Sunday against the Monarchs.
And again, the Tidal Wave had opportunities in that game yesterday. They left bases loaded in the top of the 5th, and they just were not able to capitalize. Again, some of those chances they're going to have to capitalize on, definitely, if they're going to make a push to improve their standings.
2-1 pitch, lasered into right for a base hit for Ochoa. She has hit really well in this ballpark this season. When playing in San Marcos, Ochoa hitting .391 and has her 2nd hit of the series off this leadoff single.
And that's exactly how you want to start if you're the Tidal Wave. Get your leadoff runner on first, and again, capitalize off these opportunities when you get those bases loaded.
All right, so runner on, nobody out, brings up Tate Whitley, 0 for 3 last night. Had a chance to really get some offense going in the 5th inning, and the bases loaded in the 5th, but grounded out to 3rd in the threats, and then the bottom of the inning, the Smoke scored 3 times to complete the run rule. Whitley here takes ball 1 from Jayla Wright. Speaking of delays, we had a lengthy one last night. A lot of folks concerned with the well-being of Dave Borges. We are happy to report he is back in the ballpark today. Borges was behind the plate last night, appeared to be suffering from heat exhaustion. There was a long delay to get him to a nearby medical facility, and here he is at third base this afternoon.
It's good to see him back out there again. A scary moment for sure, but he's back out there, and I'm glad training staff was on site to get that process through and get him well.
2 balls, no strikes to Whitley from rights. That is a foul ball. Count runs at 2-1. Whitley from Angleton, Texas, played her college softball at Ole Miss. One of the great Rebels ever. 237 career starts, 3rd most in program history. And look, we got a double dip today, double header. So I would imagine that is the first of several trains we'll see.
Not a passenger train this time.
Not this time. Although I guess you could ride that, it just wouldn't be very comfortable.
I'm good.
On the ground to right, flip to first to Espinoza for the out. Basically serves as a sack bunt there for Whitley, and 1 away in the first.
Again, Tidal Wave, 1 out, yes, but got a runner in scoring position now early, and you'll take those opportunities when you can, especially against the Smoke lineup.
Kind of a swinging bunt there from Whitley. Runner at second, 1 down for Tatum Anzaldo, who did not play last night. Still recovering from a lower leg injury she suffered during warm-ups against the Monarchs last week.
Again, the Tidal Wave are definitely glad to have her back in the lineup. She's a bright spot, and when you're looking to make this playoff push and improve your record in the standings, you're going to need her bat.
Interesting uniform dynamic tonight. You may have noticed already, both teams wearing all white. Anzaldo going the other way, that's foul. The only difference, the team colors, you see that blue and yellow piping down the pants for the Tidal Wave, the red lettering of the numbers on the back of the Smoke jerseys. You see that black and neon script lettering in the front. Without that, though, these two teams look identical.
Very similar look today for sure. The all whites look great, but again, to tell the difference up here, a little difficult here and there.
1 ball, 1 strike to Anzaldo. Cannon awaits on deck. Snagged by right. Good pick inside the circle. Easy play to Espinoza. 2 outs, but again productive as Ochoa moves over to third.
And again, we got 2 outs here, but again, just a good hit to get Ochoa over to third, and got a runner in scoring position, and you want to capitalize off it. And you saw the opportunities the Tidal Wave had yesterday, and again, it's the reason why they got run ruled. So they're looking to take a chance here and get some runs on the board early.
Brings up Cannon, runner at third base, and 2 outs. The Tidal Wave had just 1 2-out hit last night, and that was the homer hit by Jimenez off of Mullins in the 4th inning. Two balls and no strikes. Jayla Wright just helped lead Duke to the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City a couple of months ago. Named as the ACC's Pitcher of the Year. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Went 19-3 with the Blue Devils this season. Jayla Wright. More than 150 innings, close to 200 strikeouts, and more than 1 per inning. And an ERA right at 1.5, 1.50.
And their former catcher, Kelly Torres, is currently on the Monarchs right now, so they might be seeing each other next week.
Drops in a strike here, 2-2. Speaking of uniforms, perhaps we'll see the nickname uniforms the Smoke wear from time to time tomorrow. The nickname for Jayla, Slayla. Slayla Wright. Here's a 2-2. That is a ball rolled foul. And we'll see another pitch here to Cannon, the former Texas A&M Aggie. Ochoa at third base, 2 outs. Cannon trying to cash in on Ochoa's leadoff single. Takes a pitch just off the plate here to fill the count.
Very close, but good eye there by Cannon just to make it a full count and, again, give yourself another opportunity to get a hit and bring Ochoa in for the run.
Kelly Lynch awaits on deck. Full count coming from Jalen Wright. Fly ball right field, and that's out of play. Although ricochets back into the field of play. Count remains full here to Cannon. As Davin said, postseason coming up next week in the WPF. And all the playoff games will be right here in San Marcos and all available on the official WPF YouTube channel. Here's the full counts, and that is a base hit up the middle. And the Tidal Wave had the early lead against the Smoke. Not a position the Smoke are accustomed to, trailing early here as Cannon comes through.
No, it's definitely something we didn't see last night, and just all around, all year long, the Smoke have not been trailing often. But just a good hit here by Cannon, good at bat, just to give herself a chance and brought a runner in, and Tidal Wave take the lead. It's what you wanted here early on.
Also the importance of Whitley and Anzaldo to have productive groundouts as well to manufacture Ochoa from first to third. And Cannon delivers with a 2-out single. It's 1-0 Coastal Bend.
It's important for the Tidal Wave to capitalize again, like I mentioned earlier, on those 2-out opportunities. Again, we saw them last night. Bases loaded, not being able to do so, but here today, got the base runner around and brought her in.
Lynch, batting 5th in the order, was 1 for 2 last night with a single. Wrapped up her college career at LSU, 1 year and done in Baton Rouge. Before that, 4 years in Seattle and Washington. And the 1-0 is low and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Lynch. Great two-way player who was named second team All-SEC at LSU.
Lynch successful in the circle for sure, including a no-hitter against Auburn this past year.
The 2-0. Heart of the plate, strike one. This is not the only WPF doubleheader today. Hub City and the Monarchs played a doubleheader yesterday. They're playing another one today to wrap up their series and their respective regular seasons. Lynch swinging on 3-0 on a pitch that was outside.
Yeah, Wright just threw it kind of slightly outside there, and again, 3-1 count here for Lynch. You can't let Wright get back into this, and she's successful. We've seen her all year long with the Smoke. Can't let her get back in this one.
Swing and a miss, and we had the ball strike count wrong. That was a 2-2 pitch. That's on me. That is a strikeout to end the inning, and that'll do it for Coastal Bend of the first. But Trinity Cannon coming through with a 2-out base hit. After that, Wright strikes out Lynch for her first punch out of the game. We go to the bottom of the first. It's 1-0 Coastal Bend. A 1-0 lead for Cassie Valdez and Coastal Bend. Valdez in the circle today for the Tidal Wave. You look back at her numbers last week and the 2 starts she made against the Monarchs. Valdez, 10 in the third innings, struck out 17 to include 12 strikeouts in the series opener last Thursday, but also gave up 12 earned runs in that body of work, again, more than 10 innings last week against the Monarchs. The lineup she'll face, again, the best one of the WPF. Leading off today, Jefferson. Then we'll see Southern Rain Espinoza. Third of the order is the red-hot Jada Cody. After that, Charlotte Eccles, Savannah Jaquish, and Jazz Hill. And hitters 7 through 9, Maddie Grimm, Morgan Howe, and Anna Marie Bruni. Smoke in unfamiliar territory during this 23-game losing streak. They trail 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the first inning.
The Smoke in unfamiliar territory again, but a good chunk of the reason of their success is right there in Janae Jefferson. She's had an outstanding season so far. She got off to a great start yesterday with her leadoff double. Again, she's trying to recreate some of that action and get her team back on top.
Jefferson's numbers in this ballpark this season in 11 games, hitting .512, 21 for 41, with a couple of homers and 7 doubles. Has an OPS close to 1,400.
And when you have leadoff hitters like Jefferson, I mean, again, it's bound for success. Again, just overall, the Smoke have had last night specifically a 3 for 5 leadoff hitters. I mean, it's impressive numbers, and it's due to their success.
That ball was high to run the count to 3-1. And Jefferson draws a leadoff walk. Leadoff batter is on for the 4th time in the series now for the Smoke. The first 3 times the leadoff batter reached, they would come home to score later in the inning. And with the runner on, that brings up Southern Rain Espinoza. Espinoza, huge RBI numbers in this ballpark in 14 games. She's driven in 20, including an RBI base hit in last night's series opener. Runner on, nobody out. And the count 0-1 to Espinoza, facing Valdez for the first time. Another former Washington Husky, Espinoza, a career .308 hitter at Washington. Thought a year that Husky team went to the World Series in 2023. Now her second year of the WPF, first with the Smoke. And the count even now, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And we've talked about it last night, Brent. We've seen her like all over the field, and again today she's at first base. So just a great utility player all around for this lineup.
1-0 Tidal Wave on the RBI single by Cannon as Espinoza looks at a ball down. Facing off against the NAIA National Champion Cassie Valdez for a team that went 57-3 this season.
And she had that 0.53 ERA her senior year, and a good chunk of that record is because of that pitching performance that she had all year round in her senior season.
We talk about the dominant D1 programs like Oklahoma and Texas, but you know, against your colleagues to go 57-3 is just incredible. Espinoza, high drive, left center field, and there it goes. The deficit short-lived for the Smoke with 1 swing. It's 2-1 courtesy of number 21, Southern Rain Espinoza.
And we've been seeing her do it all year long. Again, we've seen this whole Smoke lineup do this, but again, just routine almost at this point for Espinoza. Just right over there, left center field, gone.
That is her 5th home run in this ballpark this season. And the Smoke, just like that, up 2-1. Fourth homer of the weekend for the Smoke. Homered 3 times in the opener last night. Came back to back to back, courtesy of Jazz Hill, Samantha Shao, and Morgan Howe. So the base is clear, nobody out for Jada Cody. A 2-1 lead for the champs, and a taken strike there to Cody. Last night's in the opener finished 0 for 3. This after going deep 4 times in the Hub City Series last week. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I mean, when you can go back to back to back with home runs, and Jada Cody has an off night, it's just the telltale of what this Smoke team has been all about all summer long. And almost anyone, top to bottom, in their lineup can come in at any point in time and give you exactly what you need, and that's home runs, hits, and runs.
The 2-1. That's a little bit high there from Valdez. 3 balls, 1 strike to Cody from Central Florida. Although Cody, hailing from Murrieta, California, played her college softball in Orlando. One of the top players in UCF history. Awaits a 3-1 pitch from Valdez. That ball smacked to left field for a base hit. And so, been a tough start for Valdez. A walk, a homer, and a single, and still nobody out.
Yeah, just Cody hit this one straight through right there again. Just continuing this inning, and like we've seen all year long from the Smoke, we'll just put it on at any point in the time this early on in the game. They can also do it with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. No matter what, they'll find a way to get runners on and get the hits necessary.
That'll bring up Charlotte Eccles. Runner on and nobody out. It's surprising. We were going through the numbers of the Smoke hitters batting in this ballpark this year. Of the starting 9, Eccles surprisingly has the lowest, quote-unquote lowest, batting average on the team at 273. But the power's there, 5 home runs in this ballpark that is tied for second most on the club here outside of Jazz Hill's 6 homers and 17 RBI when batting in San Marcos.
And she's not too bad on the road. Again, just last night her home run streak was broken, but she was on a 4-game home run streak on the road in Hub City.
Well, guess what, Davin? She's gone deep again. Charlotte Eccles with the 2nd home run of the inning for the Smoke. That is her 6th home run in this ballpark this year. And with that bomb, it is now a 4-1 lead for the Texas Smoke.
And right on cue, there it goes, Eccles again. So much success in this ballpark and just overall in the season. When you look on the batting average, again, like we said, Brent, it's hard to believe that it's the lowest one.
Well, 5 homers in 6 games isn't bad. Eccles going to have to settle for that after not going deep last night. A pull-side homer for Charlotte Eccles, one of the top power hitters in the WPF this season. 4 batters into the lineup, 4 runs given up by Valdez. This led to a brief exchange with her pitching coach, Joe Marabito. With the vibes for Coastal Bend short-lived. Came into the bottom of the inning with a 1-0 lead. But a couple of homers later and now find themselves down 3 and still nobody out. Brings up Savannah Jaquish. That is a strike. 0-1 to Jaquish.
And I know yesterday I was complaining. I was like, I think we might need a home run derby for this league. But after the past 24 hours, I think I've got my home run satisfied so far with this Smoke lineup.
Got a lot of game to go here, my man. You get ready. 0-2 to Jaquish. Savannah Jaquish in last night's opener, 0 for 3. With a walk and a strikeout. Here's the 0-2. Jaquish with a take. A ball and 2 strikes. There's a towering pop-up should lead the innings first out, and it does. Squeezed by Jimenez for out number 1.
And again, you just need that. If you're the Tidal Wave at this point, you'll take those outs. And again, you got to make them routine. And again, just get out of this inning, stop the bleeding a little bit, and go bat. You've had your success early on the top of the first. You just got to stop these Smokes bats, which has been the boogeyman all season long.
Easier said than done as Jazz Hill digs into the plates. Hill with a pop-up of her own to the right side, gloved by Wiggins for the second out. So a couple of weak contact outs back-to-back against players that typically have great contact in Jake Wish and Hill. Bases empty, 2 outs for Maddie Grimm after the catch made by Rylan Wiggins. Grimm, another player on this team from the state of Pennsylvania. Kind of wondering out loud last night where Schwenksville, Pennsylvania is. Well, Grimm is from Stallstown, Pennsylvania. Played her college softball at Kent State. Although she nearly transferred to Kentucky for her senior season, but opted to stay put at Kent and wound up being the Max Player of the Year that senior season. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Now in her second season with the Smoke. She initially joined as a tryout player.
And looking to make it back-to-back titles this year. Playoffs looming next week. Not to miss its high, 2-2. Talked about those player nicknames earlier. Pretty easy to figure out Maddie Grimm's nickname. Grimm what?
Reaper.
There it is. Okay.
There we go. Again, this Smoke team just getting the reps in for the playoffs. Everything's about locked up for them and retooling and gearing up for, again, like you said, Brent, earlier, another championship run.
2-2 from Valdez. That ball lined to right field, and that's going to be caught on the run by Grace Chelleman. Tracking it down, crashing into the Oakley side out there in right, and makes a fantastic play to end the inning. However, the Smoke hit a couple of homers in the inning to take a 4-1 lead, both 2-run bombs. Simon Rain Espinoza the first to go deep. And after her 2-run shot, 2 batters later, Charla Eccles a pull-side home run of her own. And with that, the Smoke carry a 4-1 lead into the second inning. You're watching the WPF on the league's official YouTube channel, and we're back after this. Couple of two-run homers has made it 4-1. Smoke on top as we go to the top of the second inning. Julie Jimenez, a wave and a miss facing Jayla Wright to start the second inning. And so Coastal Bend staked the early 1-0 lead, and the Smoke responded with 4 runs of their own at the bottom of the first. Two-run homers, Silent Rain Espinosa and Charlotte Eccles. The corner infielders both going deep for the Smoke in the first inning.
Yeah, and that's just kind of been the story all year long for the Smoke. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, and again today. Like I said earlier, just retooling, getting ready for those playoffs. And why not hit some home runs while you're at it?
0-2 to Jimenez. 1 strikeout already for Wright. That's a miss that's high.
Jimenez, the lone run from last night's game. Again, a home run off Mullins. But again, looking for some success here as the leadoff hitter for the Tidal Wave to get back in this one.
3-time all-conference player in her college career between her time at Utah and Michigan, Julie Jimenez. Watches the pitch sail outside the zone. It's 2-2.
Gives Jayla Wright some confidence here. Again, you go down 1-0, you come back, you're up 3. Gives a pitcher a lot of confidence in the circle.
You know, with the storm activity we saw before the game, it was somewhat of a relief. Some wind here in the ballpark. Sun was covered. It's been so hot here in Texas. First pitch temperatures at 98 degrees. And again, it did delay the game, but gave us some relief for the ballpark, especially for those playing, and of course the crew, the umpire crew. As we saw last night, Jimenez off the end of the bat, going to fly out to Hill and left for the first out.
Yeah, Brant, it's really hot out there, especially with that turf field. I mean, just whenever I have to operate a camera out there in the middle of the day, it gets pretty toasty. And whenever I was at the football practice last week, it was grass field over there, but again, here in Texas, it just gets that hot.
So right now it's 92, but it feels like 105. Nobody on, 1 out for Rylan Wiggins. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Wiggins 0 for 2 in the opener last night. You mentioned your time running camera, so you have run camera before for these WPF broadcasts, and now you're here in an air-conditioned booth. How jealous are you making your camera operators right now that you get to be in here?
Probably very jealous. I hate to say it, but again, I don't mind the AC at all. I'm sorry, everyone on camera today, Krista, Jacob.
They're all looking up here.
I know,
and
they're
shaking their heads
all
at
looking
you.
at me right now, and I just feel really guilty. I can see them. Oh, this is rough. I feel really bad right now.
If it makes the camera operators feel any better, it's getting really cold in here.
It is kind of, what do we got? It's 68 right now in the booth. Does that make y'all upset at all? Sorry, guys.
Fouled away by Wiggins. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's okay. I'll be back on cam next week. I'll eat my words.
Batter waiting on deck, Alyssa Garcia. Jayla Wright gave up a run in the first inning off a couple of hits. And ahead against Wiggins here, 1-2.
Again, tough for this Tidal Wave team to get back in this one, but again, they capitalized off their first situation, getting the runner all the way over to third and bringing her in. And again, they just got to keep doing it and get those runners on base and capitalize off of it.
Swing and a miss. That's a strikeout for Wright, her second of the day. Wiggins goes down swinging. 2 up and 2 down for Wright here in the second inning.
And for Wright, this is exactly what you want. Just speed straight down the middle almost, and Wiggins just swinging and can't make contact and stay alive and keep this lineup alive and get the chances needed.
Working that outer half of the plate, able to strike out Wiggins, brings up Alyssa Garcia. A lefty hitter coming up here for the Tidal Wave and takes a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Garcia hailing from a bat and ball family. Her dad, Tony Garcia, played in the Mariners organization back in the day. And I wonder if that's one of the reasons why Garcia lists Ken Griffey Jr. as one of her favorite players of all time. Guy that played the game well before her childhood. Sure, Dad has told a lot of stories, perhaps, about Griffey. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Designated player in 31 games. It's at catcher also at San Diego State. Batted .312. Not a bad little collegiate career over there in San Diego for Garcia.
A single season for her as an Aztec. Before that, 4 years at UCLA. On the inside, that just misses, and right kind of circling the circle. Really wanted that call.
Yeah, you can see her, she's laughing that one off, but again, Garcia, the Tidal Wave also can take what they will at this point and take those chances and possibly those missed calls.
A 4-1 game at the top of the second, right, looking for a 1-2-3 frame. She'll get it here on a strikeout, so Melissa Garcia. Back-to-back Ks, ends of seconds for the Tidal Wave as we go to the bottom of inning number 2. It's a Smoke 4 and Coastal Bend 1. We're back in San Marcos after this. Kat Tarman's team is up 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Once down 1-0. It was a short-lived deficit for the Smoke. Scored 4 in the bottom of the first. After that, Jayla Wright retires the Tidal Wave. 1-2-3 in the top of the second. A couple of strikeouts along the way, and here come the Smoke rolling again.
Yep, again, all year long, it's kind of what we've seen. The moment you think you possibly have a jump on them early in the game, they just have to sit back, remind you, we're the Texas Smoke. We're 26-1, I believe, on the year now after last night, and this has kind of been the storyline all year long.
Morgan Howe leads off the second and takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Last year's WPF Offensive Player of the Year, Morgan Howe, hit .342 a year ago with 7 homers. OPS over 1,000. Her numbers here this ballpark this season. OPS, guess what? Over 1,000, 5 homers here, and 16 RBI. That's a miss outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And we got Morgan Howe sitting in your 8-hole. I mean, that's just a telltale story on how good your lineup is and how good it's been so far this season.
The 26-year-old out of Poway, California. Couple of years at Arizona State before Tempe, 2 years at Fresno State Bulldog. Outside corner and a called strike this time. Two-one pitch, shot foul. The count evens 2-2.
And for Valdez here, again, a tough first inning, but you still got a lot of game left. You're only down by 3. Again, we've said that all year long when it comes to the Smoke, but you just got to have some faith and trust your defense and get back into your pitching selection.
Last night's loss for the Tidal Wave, their 4th over the past 5 games, after dropping last week's series to the Monarchs. Here's a 2-2, fought off by Howe. Valdez in the circle from Brownsville, Texas, down near the southern border. An NAIA honorable mention player, as an All-American during a time at Our Lady of the Lake in the greater San Antonio area. 2-2 pitch, that's a hit. A hit batter, that is anyway, and so Howe is on to lead off the second.
Valdez again, before she went over to Our Lady of the Lakes, briefly a former Bobcat in 2020.
Runner on, nobody out for Anna Marie Bruni. Hitting in the bottom part of the order here for the Smoke. Bruni from South Florida, where she played her college softball. 2-time first team All AAC as a Bull. And the first pitch is bunted foul.
You can see that bunt attempt there by Bruni. Again, one of the speedier players on this Smoke lineup. When needed, when it comes to stolen bases, she is 7 for 7 on the year.
You'll notice those red gloves of Bruni's Franklin brand. She signed a sponsorship deal with Franklin back in May. Player profiting off her likeness, now at the professional level. Pushed foul, the count runs to 1-2. Top 10 in USF history in career batting average, stolen bases, and runs scored. And has been a really good pro in her 2 years with the Smoke. 1-2, a wave and a miss, and the first strikeout for Valdez, and the first out here in the seconds.
And if you're Valdez, that's exactly what you needed right there as a strikeout, for especially your first one on the game. Just speed right down the middle there. Again, Bruni just completely late on that whiff.
And now with one out, back to the top of the order, Janae Jefferson. First pitch is high for ball 1. Jefferson walked and scored in her first at-bat earlier today. This after Jefferson in last night's opener was on base twice with a couple of hits to include a leadoff double. Bunt put down by JJ, and Jefferson grounds to Valdez, who makes a throw to first base for the second out, trying to bunt herself on. It does move Howe to second base. Now there's 2 outs in the inning, and it brings up Espinoza.
And Espinoza, the one that got this all started, again in the bottom of the first with that home run.
And hit it to the opposite field. A homer to left center for Espinoza. Valdez works the outside and has the strike call there. It's 0-1. Second time in 3 games, Espinoza's homer hit a grand slam in Sunday's finale at Hub City this past week. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss in front of the changeup. Good job by Valdez to pull the string there. Espinoza thinking fastball or a screwball. And swung right through it. Jada Cody in the on-deck circle. Will we see her in the seconds? We'll find out here as Valdez gets Espinoza to foul that pitch off. Espinoza trying to extend the inning to Cody, who's waiting on deck. So far, 2 out hitting for the Smoke of the series, 2 for 8s. And now the 0-2. Espinoza with a drive, and that's gonna go again. Second home run of the day for Silent Rain Espinoza. And with that, it's now a 6-1 lead for the Smoke in the 2-run shot. 2 for 2, 2 homers, both 2-run bombs for Espinoza.
And again, the 2-out hitting we've just been harping on with the Smoke all year long. Again, on cue, Espinoza, have yourself a day.
Third homer of the game already for the Smoke. Homered 3 times last night. And now 6-1 game, brings up Cody, fouls off the first pitch. And for Espinoza, up to 6 homers in this ballpark this year. One of the great power hitters in a lineup full of them, the Texas Smoke. I mean, really, you look at 1 through 9 as Cody fouls off another one. Batters 1 through 9, and Bruni's not somebody who swings for the fences, hitting in the 9-hole, but beyond that, 1 through 8, every player possesses home run power.
Yeah, no, it's just, like we've said, top to bottom. I mean, it's just impressive all around, and you can mismatch these players and put them in different spots throughout the lineup, and you'd probably get the same result. It's just been consistent all year long. And for Valdez, again, you walk Howe, you strike out Bruni, and you get the ground out necessary. You're almost out of the inning, and then Espinoza coming up and just hitting another home run off of you. It's deflating, and especially when you had the lead early on in this game.
You look at the hitters 1 through 8, and now in the season when batting at Bobcat Softball Stadium, they have combined to hit 33 home runs in about 15 games.
My home run derby looks kind of silly now, doesn't it?
A little bit. 1-2 to Jada Cody. Going the other way, that's going to drop foul. Well, a tough outing for Cassie Valdez. She's got great stuff. Saw it in her start last Thursday against the Monarchs. 6 innings were pitched into the 7th and struck out 12. Swing and a miss, strikes out Cody there. Her second strikeout of the game, talking about that stuff of Valdez. However, in the inning, another 2-run homer, and again, Silent Rain Espinoza. Nothing silent about this swing. Her second homer of the day. And with that, through 2 innings, it's a Smoke 6, the Tidal Wave 1. Back to the top of the 3rd when we return here in San Marcos. Blake Miller's team grabbed the lead early against the Smoke 1-0 on a 2-out base hit in the top of the 1st inning, courtesy of Trinity Cannon. But since then, 6 unanswered score by the Smoke. They've hit 3 2-run homers for their offense, and as a result, the Coastal Bend Tidal Wave now trailing 6-1 as we head to the top of the third.
Yeah, when it comes to the rest of the teams in this league, I mean, standings-wise, it's pretty even, especially the series we've seen against the Monarchs and the Tidal Wave. They've been going back and forth at each other. Again, still kind of fighting for that second and third place standing in the overall. But again, with the Smoke, I mean, when you look at their record, it just tells you the whole story. 26-1. I mean, the rest of the league has been competitive, but when they have to face this Texas Smoke lineup, it can get ugly quick.
It kind of reminds me of a story that came from the NBA All-Star Weekend way back in the day. This is the late 80s. Ahead of the three-point shootout, Grace Chellerman with a fly ball to left field, and that's going to fly. Grace Chellerman with a home run of her own. First pitch of the inning jumps on that. With the new pitcher just into the game for the Smoke, Jordan Dale surrenders a home run on the first pitch she throws.
And just like that, the Tidal Wave bounced back slightly again. Solo shot here by Chellerman. Again, exactly what the Tidal Wave need as a leadoff hitter.
Just cleared the fence for Grace Chellerman, the former Marshall Thundering Herd. And that is the second home run of the weekend for Coastal Bend. You look at Jordan Dale. Into the game now for the Smoke after 2 innings from Jayla Wright. That pitching change went unnoticed by us initially. Wright was cruising and struck out her final 2 batters of the second. Perhaps this is just an opportunity for Dale to get some work and keep some gas in the tank for Wright ahead of next week's postseason. Either way, Dale in now. Jordan Dale from Forest, Virginia. Played for the Oregon Ducks for 4 years. Before that, 1 year Virginia Tech. During her time in Eugene, threw a couple of no-hitters with Oregon. 32 wins and over 365 innings at Oregon. And how about this? 32 wins, yes, but more impressive, 28 complete games for Dale.
She's had an impressive collegiate career, and again, she's been through so many different circumstances when it comes to games and situations, and this is nothing new to her. Yes, she gave up the home run, but likely just settling into this game and getting some reps in before this playoff push for the Smoke.
The numbers for Jayla Wright, 2 innings, giving up a single run on 2 hits with 3 strikeouts and no walks. Now giving the ball off to Jordan Dale. 3-1 to Ochoa. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And there you look at Jayla Wright pouring in those 2 innings to the circle today. You hope it's not health-related for her coming out after just 2 innings. Only 42 pitches. Full count. That's a walk to Ochoa. So for Dale, a rough start for her since coming into the game. A home run at her first pitch, and now a walk to Ochoa.
And when Chellerman hit that home run, you could see a little flurry around in the Smokes bullpen, but since then, no movement or anything looking like anyone's going to be warming up and coming in for Dale.
A 6-2 game in the third. Nobody out. Runner at first base for Tate Whitley. That bunt goes foul. So I was in the middle of telling a story when Chellerman had the audacity to hit a home run. So in the, I forget what year, I want to say 87, 88 All-Star game, Larry Bird for the 3-point contest looked around at the other competitors and said, which one of you is finishing second? And it kind of feels a little bit like that with the Smoke this year, right? You mentioned the record 26-1. The other 3 teams this year have literally been battling for second place. Can't catch them for first.
No, not at all. I think that story just tells the exact story we're seeing here today. And who's going to finish in second? The Smoke getting some reps in, obviously. It'd be interesting to see if we see other pitchers come in that we haven't seen much of this season. And just preparing. And like you said, Brent, who's going to come in second?
Well, coming into the weekend, that question was between 2 teams, involving 2 teams, the Tidal Wave and the Monarchs. 0-2 is low. A ball and 2 strikes from Dale. Monarchs playing 2 in Hub City last night, 2 more today. So we're not going to know who's going to grab second place until the end of the weekend. Coming in to this final regular season week, the 2 teams separated by half a game in the standings. That's high. The count runs to 2-2.
And likely if the Adelitas possibly don't pull up a sweep or nothing crazy changes, no matter how it switches or who comes in second, most likely the Tidal Wave and Monarchs will be playing each other in the playoffs,
which will make for a very compelling series. A series won by Coastal Bend this year. Yes, 7-4. But of the 11 games, there was some walk-offs along the way, a lot of tight finishes. In those 3 weekends, they played each other just once in San Marcos. That came last week. Twice meeting in Robstown. Two. Whitley on a jammed shot, and it gets the best of Espinoza. Trying to pull that swinging bunt, kind of jammed her. Espinoza couldn't field it cleanly. And now 2-1 with nobody out for the Tidal Wave, trying to climb back into the game.
And just a rare miss by Espinoza, trying to use her back glove there and just doesn't make the play. And if you're the Tidal Wave with 0 outs here, you're trying to make a push and chip away at this lead that the Smoke created so quickly.
By the way, that is scores an infield base hit, not an error. So here we go, 2 on. Nobody out for Tatum Onzaldo. Heart of the order coming up for the Tidal Wave. And the tying run is on deck in Trinity Cannon. First pitch to Onzaldo. Swings and misses ahead of the off speed, and Onzaldo still doesn't quite look right physically.
Yeah, you can see she's kind of limping a little bit there, and health-wise, you just hope she's okay, but again, does not look fully 100% healthy.
Onzaldo 0 for 1, but facing Dale for the first time. Another swing and a miss. This time more giddy up behind that pitch from Dale, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Dale's probably just trusting her fastball at this point and seeing Onzaldo's kind of limping a little bit and just going to trust her pitch selection.
0-2. Poked foul. Onzaldo 5 years at Cal. Dale 4 years at Oregon. Have to imagine these two faced each other before in the Pac-12. That's popped up. Should be the inning's first out, and it is. Infield fly was in effect anyway. Onzaldo retired. She's 0 for 2. These two meeting for the 10th time here today. The 11th when we get to the second game of the doubleheader. Smoke blew the series 9-0. This is the 3rd weekend they face each other, and the 2nd time they've done so in San Marcos. You look at that bullpen, and behind the dancing Raquel Miller, I believe it's Autumn Pease getting loose for the Smoke. That ball drilled to left, and that's a base hit for Cannon. Routing third and coming home on an off-line throw is Ochoa. She's going to score easily. Aaron throwing left by Jazz Hill, and it's 6-3.
And there you go. If you're the Tidal Wave, that's exactly what you needed. Taking advantage of some Smoke errors and some miscues and missed throws, and great hit. Hill just not able to get this ball in on time and off the mark.
Also a new catcher, Savannah Jaquish catching now in place of Jada Cody. And Kat Tarvin's going to come out and visit with Jordan Dale here.
Definitely need a discussion, just communicating. You can also see Coach Tarvin's going over there to talk to her infield a little bit. You saw Espinoza misplaced that ball early on, and then the throw by Hill, just getting everyone calmed down, and some new players in new positions, like you mentioned, Jaquish in the catcher spot, and just retooling again for the Smoke.
So after the errant throw, now runners second and third. Arrow will be charged to Jazz Hill in left field. Kelly Lynch, the batter, still just one out. A homer in the inning and an RBI base hit. 2 runs have scored to cut the lead down to 3. And strike one pumped in by Jordan Dale, facing Lynch for the first time. Lynch struck out swinging against right back in the first inning. And Dale's 0-1. That's a miss high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ground ball to third. Eccles looking for the tag at third base. But the runner called safe, Tate Whitley, and settles for the throw to first for out number 2.
Good base running by Whitley just to keep your head on a swivel, and also good play by Eccles just to check the runner on third. Almost got the out needed to end the inning.
Yeah, good base running by Whitley to get back in time. Just ahead of the tag from Eccles, and Eccles on her part too, able to refocus and get that throw on line to the first baseman Espinosa. Good play in her part.
We talked about it, Brant, just impressive third base play all season long, not just on the Smoke with Eccles, but also we've seen Sarah Vanderford on the Monarchs. Just impressive play from these women all year long, and it's a high level of competition, and it's just cool to see in person live on the field.
Jimenez, the batter, 7th one of the inning for the Tidal Wave, chipping away at this lead. Came into the inning down 6-1, 2 runs have scored. And although Jimenez trailing here, 0-2, a base hit could make this a 1-run game. Runner second and third base. Here's a high drive, left field, and that's going to fly out of here. Second home run of the weekend for Jimenez, and it ties the game at 6.
Wow, what a shot by Jimenez. Again, second home run on the weekend. Impressive 2-out rally here by the Tidal Wave. It's exactly what you needed to capitalize on with runners on.
Well, left the ball up in the zone on 2 strikes. And Jimenez did not miss. Kept that inside the foul pole and ties the game with 1 swing, a 6-6 game, and a 5-run third inning for Coastal Bend. So Jimenez a couple of home runs this weekend. With the homer drove in Whitley and Cannon, brings up Bradley Wiggins. And this game has a different feel to it now.
No, the Tidal Wave surging back again. They've had opportunities, not just against the Smoke. We've seen them come up short against the Monarchs, but a lot of stuff coming together for them right now, offensively and also just defensively, if they can stay in it.
1 ball, 1 strike. Dale facing Wiggins here. You wonder how long that leash is going to be for Jordan Dale, but a troublesome inning. It all started with that first pitch homer given up to Grace Chellerman. Since then, 4 more runs have scored as Wiggins pops up, and that's just out of play for Jefferson, Howe, or Espinosa. Homer to Chellerman, then a walk to Ochoa. Whitley with an infield base hit on a tough play by Espinosa at first. Alzondo with an infield fly pop-up. Cannon 2-out RBI base hit. Lynch a ground out, and Jimenez on 0-2 with a 3-run homer. Check swing that goes foul.
And Jimenez coming into today's game, only batting 118, sitting at the 6th hole. She's been a bright spot for this Tidal Wave offense, and 2 home runs in the past 2 games has been impressive and definitely showing out.
On the ground is short. Grimm to Espinoza to end the inning. But a 5-spot put up by Coastal Bend. Thought the game was getting away, and the Tidal Wave say not so fast. 2 homers in the inning. Grace Chellerman, a solo blast that helped set the tone for the inning on the first pitch of the third. And then later, Julie Jimenez on 2 strikes and 2 outs goes deep to tie the game with a 3-run shot. And now the score is 6-6. After a 5-run top of the third inning, it's now a 6-6 game. Kind of a brand new feel to it, as we said. Kind of felt like the Smoke were on their way to routing the Tidal Wave for a second straight night, but Coastal Bend saying not so fast. 2 big homers in the top of the third. Leadoff homer on the first pitch of the inning hit by Grace Chellerman. And then the big swing on 2 strikes. Julie Jimenez, a game-tying 3-run homer. And now we're all squared. Eccles leads off the bottom of the third. And the count here even against Cassie Valdez. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And again, if you're Cassie Valdez, you've got to be a little bit more confident now in the circle. And it's kind of a reset game. Everything's kind of back to almost 0-0, if you will, but gives her a little bit more confidence in pitching selection.
That is a confident swing, and that is way gone. Charla Eccles, her second homer of the day. And just like that, the Smoke retake the lead.
Yep, that's been the story for the Smoke all year long. I mean, again, they can put it on you no matter what inning it is, no matter what the situation. Again, Charla Eccles, just a blast out to right field. This ball didn't have a chance.
She cleared the Bobcat sitting on top of the scoreboard. That's not the first time she's done that here. So 2 homers for Espinoza, 2 homers for Eccles. Each player, I think, battling for our Player of the Game award by night's end.
It's a competition at this point. I mean, just what a shot. And then that's just been the story for the Smoke team all year long.
Got a pause in the action here. This might be another weather delay coming. Players are exiting the field as we speak. And the game has, in fact, entered a lightning delay. The timing of it is curious because of the Eccles home run. That was a blast. Did she rattle the clouds?
That home run might have been more thunder than it was lightning for how
that was
well it was belted
really,
out.
Really well said. All right, so with that, we are going to step aside. 7-6. Smoke on top of Coastal Bend with a lightning delay in effect. We will resume once the weather clears here in San Marcos. At the bottom of the third, a 1-run lead for the reigning champion, Texas Smoke.